Everyone, Wazoo here, and in this video we are going to make our very first game window using RayLib and C++. Yeah, RayLib is a pretty exciting and easy to use C and C++ library that compiles and builds for a ton of desktop platforms out there. As you can see, we've got a basic window in front of us, and I'm using the keyboard arrows to direct our red square left, right, up, and down. And if you hit escape, then it will just exit the whole program. Boom. All right, let's get started on putting some code together. Okay, so as you can see, I've got Visual Studio open, and I've created a console project, and I've added a file called main.cpp. You can call that file anything you want. Just give it a .cpp file extension and add it into your project, and away we go. The first thing we need to do is just include the RayLib library. So let's include raylib.h. And then we're also going to include IOStream and string. Okay, next we are going to make our main entry point. So we just have an int main, and we won't do anything with these two arguments right now, but we'll just have them in our main program. And we will return 0 from our little application. All right. Now we are going to define a window size. So we're going to create a window width variable and set that to 800. And a window height variable and set that to 450. And then we are going to declare a string, and we'll just give it a name, RayLib basic window. Okay, and then we will call init window. Now with RayLib, the really interesting and very helpful thing is that the website has a cheat sheet that you can pull up while you are working on a RayLib project. Anyways, so I'll put the link to the cheat sheet in the description down below for this video. And you can see right here that we've got let's bring it up to 400%. All right. So as we scroll down, we've got, it's an index of all of the functions that RayLib supports. And the first one we're going to need to use is init window. So initialize window and OpenGL context. We just need to give it a width, a height, and a title. And as it happens, that's what we have right here. So we just call init window and window width, window underscore height, and the title. Okay, and then we need to call a function called setTargetFPS and give it a value of 60. And let's go back to our cheat sheet. Okay, so setTargetFPS, set target FPS, so the maximum frame rate. So the function does exactly what it says it does. Okay, and then we will go into a while loop. So while not, window should close, which is a Boolean, a function that returns a true or false. And let's go look up this function. So window should close. Check if application should close. So key escape pressed or Windows close icon clicked. Okay, so we're in a while loop, and while we don't want to close, then we want to just keep going. So we want to call a function called begin drawing. This sets up RayLib's drawing algorithm to handle making calls to the graphics card. So the first thing you usually do after calling begin drawing is clear background. And so this will clear the space that we're drawing on. And we'll give it a color. So we want to just use a color called sky blue, which, as you might imagine, is blue. And then we'll end it right now with end drawing. So whenever you call begin drawing, then you also have to call end drawing. And remember, this is in that while loop that just keeps going until the escape key is pressed or until you close the window itself. And then the program will drop down here after the while loop, and we just call close window. And let's go back to the helpful cheat sheet and look up close window. Okay, so what does this do? Close window and unload OpenGL context. Perfect. Okay, so we should have all the basics here to just create our basic window. And let's do that right away. All right, perfect. So we've got a window showing up with the background clearing to blue, sky blue. And if we hit escape, it exits properly and cleans everything up. Okay, perfect. So now let's draw that red square. Okay, so what we're going to do is now just create a structure. And we'll just call it player, just because in most games, you are controlling the player. Okay, we'll give it a position. Okay, and then we'll declare two variables to just track the size of this player. So it'll be constants. So const, and I called it sprite width and sprite height. And it's 32, it's a 32 by 32 square for now. Okay, so down here after the set target FPS, we are going to create an instance of that player struct. So player. Well, we can, initialize position to be window width divided by 2.0f and window height divided by 2.0f. So a vector2 structure is a helpful entity provided by the RayLib library to keep track of the X and Y position of anything that you want moving around on your screen. So we've declared a position for it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to draw a rectangle of where this player should be. So draw a rectangle, and you'll notice in the IntelliSense or whatever will pop up for the IDE you're using, there's multiple functions that use the same draw rectangle. So why don't we look up the cheat sheet and see which one we need. Okay, so what we want, we've got a bunch of them here all grouped together. So the first one will allow us to just pass in integers for the XY position, the width and height, and the color. That's not bad. We kind of need that, but we have a vector2 structure that is keeping track of the position. And so the next candidate we have is draw rectangle V, which takes in two vector2 arguments and a color. And there's a few more down here, but really this is the one that we want, draw rectangle V. So we have a vector2, which is tracking the position of our player. And then we have those two constant variables, which is tracking the size. And then finally, we can specify a color. So let's use draw rectangle V. And we'll pass in the player.position. And then we'll create a vector2D as this next parameter here, using sprite width and sprite height. And then for a color, we will just use red. There's a whole bunch of colors that show up by default in RayLib, which are very handy to make use of. Let's see, are the colors defined in the cheat sheet? Let's take a look. Oh, we do. Okay, great. So the colors are defined in the cheat sheet here. We've got, as you can see, light gray, yellow, gold, orange, pink, red, all the way down to Ray white, which is just a slightly different white than regular white. Okay, so let's see if this rectangle will draw. Hooray! So in our demo, we provided the ability to use the arrow keys. So what we're going to do now is look at grabbing the input. Okay, and for that, we will, before we do all the drawing code, let's do all the updating. And so here is where we would check the keyboard to see if the arrow keys are getting pushed. So if is key down, okay, and then we want to check the up arrow. So if the up arrow is being pushed, then we take the player position and we subtract something called player.speed, which we'll create right away, times delta. Okay, so first we need to grab the current frame time. So there's a handy function here called getFrameTime, which returns a float value. We added a new component to the player structure called speed, which is a float. Okay, so when we create the player here, let's just go ahead and initialize speed to be something like 200. Just some arbitrary value there. Okay, and then let's cut and paste this 4 times to keep track of each arrow. Okay, so we've got up, and then we're testing the down arrow, so key underscore down. And the left arrow is key underscore left. And the right arrow is key underscore right. Now these key inputs should also be on the cheat sheet. Let's see, key up. And it's not here, I guess not. Okay, so it is defined in the raylib.h file. And so if we hit the up arrow, then we are subtracting from the y coordinate of the position. And so if we hit the down arrow, then we want to add that same value, the speed times delta, to the y position structure. So now if we hit the left arrow, then we want to adjust the player's x position. So we want to go left, so we subtract the speed times frame time from the current x position. And if we hit the right arrow, then we want to add the speed times frame time to the current x position. Okay, that all looks good. And let's run this, and we should be able to control the little red square, and we can with the arrow keys. Fantastic. Okay, one more thing is in the demo, we had some text showing up in the top left corner there. And this is very easy to do. Let's go to our cheat sheet here, and we'll look up a function called draw text. Okay, we have a bunch of okay, here we go. So draw text. So as an argument, we have our text, the text we want to draw, the X and Y position, the font size, and then the color. And so let's read here, draw text using the default font. Okay, perfect. So we can also use a function here called draw FPS, which is a little helpful function to just display our frame rate. So we pass in the X and Y coordinates of where we want to draw that frame rate. So why don't we do both here? So just before the draw rectangle V, let's call draw FPS, and we'll draw it at position 10, X10 and Y10. Then now let's use draw text. We'll just RayLib C++ starter. That'll be our string. And let's see, for an X and Y, let's use an X position of 10 and a Y position of 20, and then a font size of 20. And then for a color, let's use yellow. Okay, and let's run it. We should see the frame rate and that text string. Oh, it's overlapping each other. Let's quickly fix that. Okay, so let's move that down to a Y value of 30. Let's go ahead and run it. All right, so we've got a frame rate displaying here. We've got our text, and we can move around the red square. Very cool. See, that's all we need. We've got the basic components for a simple video game, which we will tackle in a future tutorial. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and check out the link to the source code in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.